Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Principal, Professor Syed Jafar Ali sir, for guiding us to conduct the online classes over virtual platform. As well as, I would like to express my greetings to all my students for attending my class regularly as well as sincerely. I am seeking the attention of my second year fourth semester students. Here I go. This is Shuvro Shuvo, lecturer, Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Mohammadpur Kendriya College. Today, I am going to conduct the classes on front office operations and reservation. Course code 520915, Chapter 1. After completion of this chapter, students will be able to understand functions and the importance of front office operations and reservation system and operational functions of the lobby as well as the purpose of front office equipment and furniture, and likewise they will also able to understand principles of back office and so on. Let us see functions performed by the front office department. Front office department is a mirror of a hotel and they plays a vital role in the hospitality industry. For instance, I would like to say in the hotel industry. Front office department creates the first impression of a guest. They show their service, they offer their service for enhancing their reputation through the front office department. If we see the functions performed by the front office department, then firstly we will see receiving and processing reservation on phone and checkouts and take details report number mistakes to occur, as well as in the online or offline reservation they also maintain the reservation procedure. They give the proper feedback to the guest, and they maintain the different types of reservation system. They take booking email, they receive email and they give the feedback to their guest. And secondly, if we see welcoming and arriving welcoming the arriving guest, as well as the guest would be domestic or international tourist. So far they have to maintain the good coordination between others department also, because they have to send the pickup services, then the airport services, and the bail service and concierge service also included with the front office department. If we see the filling of arrival and departure registers and the guest reservation form and the check-in, maintaining all the check-in facilities and the check-in procedures, and by taking the information like passport information, email address, son name, full name, and also preparing and updating the folios of the guest. Folios means bill and the other expenditure as other expenses which is done by the guest, and dealing with the complaints and handling them. And for sure they have to concern about the complaint handling, because there is a very few opportunity to say no. Guest is always right, and front office reservation officers, receptionist, they have to deal with the guest very smartly to understanding them. They are very special to their hotel or the property. Marketing and selling of hotel, they also related with the front office department. Providing security services, they have to very concerned whenever they're filling the guest reservation from or registration from, when guest arrived, like the single guest or the group travelers, group guest, group reservation can be happened. So for each and every moment, a front office manager or the receptionist have to concern about their all activities, what they actually require. If there is a special request by the guest, so far they have to note down, or they have to put in their reservation software system, so far they can get the idea about their guest choice, what they preference of their guest, maximizing occupancy through revenue management. And similarly, if we see the different section of front office and their importance with regard to the hotel operations, as I said earlier, front office is the mirror of a hotel, and they basically creates the first impression of the hotel. So they have to be very strategic when they are making a reservation or making confirming their reservation over phone or over email, making the guaranteed reservation, non-guaranteed reservation, and so on. If we see here stated some points like the major section of front office are the major section. If we see reservation, communication over telephone, email, and reception procedure, information collecting, and the cashier system, bill receiving system, and folio management, and the bill desk procedure, and guest relation is another essential part in the front office department, because they have to keep the whole record of their guests, their activities, their bill payment procedures, and the method of their reservation, and their all types of essential data were required for the hotel. So they have to be sometimes very strategic to to collect the data also. If we see the lobby is another important and essential part in the hotel, because if guest arrives in a hotel, then first they move to or like to walk in the lobby, or they even take rest in the lobby. They can have a cup of coffee, or and get a welcome drinks which is provided by the hotel authority. It could be complimentary facilities to the guest whoever arrived in their hotel property or in the property. They like to give the complimentary drinks, fruits for the hotel, and water for the for the tourist. Thus they can understand, they can feel very special to them, to the hotel. And they by getting these facilities, they basically want to come in this hotel again and again. Should be the lobby should be spacious but not wasteful. The size of lobby should be very limited by considering the size of a hotel, by the location of a hotel, by the cultural procedure, by considering the cultural procedure of the local area. They have to concern about to give the structure of a lobby. Sufficient space should be provided for the guest, because they can bring their hand luggage and their passport, and they can take some some rest for a couple of minutes. So the hotel authority have to be must concerned about the lobby and the space facilities. And after reaching at the hotel, they provide basically guest reservation form or registration form. After receiving in the hotel, some group of hotel used to provide or offer different types of flowers to their guests, because they can feel very special to the hotel. Sorry. As it is a general circulation and waiting area, all the desks such as front desks, travel desks, GRE desks, house telephone, elevators, and staircases should not block each other. So these paths and the way of entering in the hotel should be very clear, as well as separated from each other. The natural flow of the guest should be toward reception, information counter on this arrival in the hotel. And however, front desk is located in the lobby. It should be in clear view of the guest entering in the lobby, and the front office staff should be able to oversee the activities in the lobby, entrance, exit, elevators, shop. So many things available should be available in the lobby area. All the restaurants may also be reached through the lobby. In addition to the entry from the porch or the drive-in, there must be no entrance to the lobby, because after reaching a guest in the basement of a hotel, then departing from the car, then definitely they try to walk in the hotel without getting any constraints, or the any any constraints and so on. As it is the most important public area in the hotel, should be well decorated with the good quality of display materials, and furnitures, and theme, and based on local theme. And the decor of the hotel should be very different from each other, because nowadays each and every hotel providing are based on some theme. It could be eco-friendly hotel, very commercial, by following the very commercial trend and traditions also. Flooring of the lobby should be durable, easy to maintain, and eye appealing, and also cost effective. Walls must be well maintained, and maximum utilization of natural lights and air should be done for the lobby planning. The design and shape of the lobby should also match the architectural theme of the hotel. Color of the paint and the distemper used must be in harmony with the color of the materials. So finally, the color of the hotel or the lobby and the air circulation of the in the lobby area, and that they can have boutique shop also in the lobby area for showing them, for showing the identical culture of a nation. So it is very possible, and I have personally seen that most hotels in our country, they want to show the our national or the identical trend and traditional cultural background through providing the boutique shop or the color of the hotel and showing some wall paints and so on. If we see, lobby also depend on the size and types of hotel, structural layout of the hotel. As I said earlier, system used in the hotel such as manual and mechanical or automatic systems. Here we see, here let us see the list of equipments and furniture used in the front office department. And all of we know equipments and furniture is highly necessary in the hotel industry, because in the reception area, you will see, probably you will see the key rack and the fax machine, computer, punch machine, stapler machine, printer machine, and money exchanging facilities, and note checking facilities, card reader, punch reader, and so many facilities basically included with the equipments and furnitures. If we see the furnitures, then definitely a front desk and the key rack and the shelf for keeping the records or the notes or the different types of papers in a certain place. And back office also, including the front office. Back office also use the furnitures like drawers, small cabinets for running smoothly in the front office department of a hotel. If I said earlier, key and mail rack, guest history filling cabinet, reservation rack, GR card holder, bulletin boards, and some notice boards, room rack, duplicate key rack, credit card imprinter, telephone, and perpetual year planner, and so on. And if we see the luggage net, fax machine, and complete computer system hardware, revolving rack, reminder, franking machine, magnetic strip reader, voucher rack is also available in the front office area for having the facilities of equipments and furnitures. Like if we see the voucher rack, then definitely each and every voucher they have to, front office receptionist or front office manager usually like to keep the vouchers and the bills in the voucher rack, for if they feel necessary, then they can find this bill by identifying some codes, by providing some codes and giving the code system like A, B, C, D in the A, in the alphabet A, the all the A alphabet, by considering the in the first letter of A, then they definitely in the billing system, then these bills should be kept in the voucher rack. And magnetic strips reader, if we see the magnetic strips reader, then definitely we can find, if some hotel use the automatic door system punch cards, then they can strip readers in the certain sections, and so on. If we see the operations and procedure of the back office in a hotel, back office is another essential part of a front office department, because each and every time back office basically support the front office department and gather and collect the information from the front office department and collect some data. And after end of the day, they are the in a any time, in a time audit section can check the can check the bill and other agendas or the other required activities, which is asked by the front office department, or other department which is asked by asked to help by the front office department. So back office can collect some data and use data from the front office department. Like if we see the some certain points here: accurate accounting, effective cost control, accurate forecasting, financial reporting, and most importantly, uniform system of the accounting accounts for the lodging industry, USA LI. And consequently, we can see a standard set of accounting procedure used to record a hotel financial transaction conditions like account receivable, and back office accounting, controller, budget controlling, credit manager, chief accountant basically maintain or work and maintain the balance coordination between the back office and creating budgets. Also, if the hotel wish to make a budget on their upcoming months or upcoming peak season budget, then definitely they have to make and prepare the budget basis on the back office data or information, cash receipt journals and accounts journals and cash disbursement journals, purchase orders, so many things included with the back office activities. And if we see the balance sheet activities, then definitely in the end of the day, they can check through the balance sheet data, by the room records, the occupied, the number of room occupied in the hotel, or the number of room vacant in the hotel, or the sales volume of the hotel. Authority can easily understand by taking the information from the back office, like these sorts of information. Handling accounting functions of the all department also dependent on the back office in a hotel. If we see the hierarchy of the front office department, there are the by based on property of a hotel, the size of a hotel, the hierarchy can be varied to varied each and other, varied one hotel to another hotel, from one hotel to another hotel. So this is the very fundamental, basically, structure of a hotel. So students can be able to understand the basic and the fundamental forms of the hierarchy of front office department. If we see the front office department, as I said earlier in your last class, there are three steps. Basically, there are three level exist in the hotel industry: top level, mid level, and the first line level or lower level. So in the top level employees, you will see front office manager. In the mid level section, you will see reservation, reception, guest service, accounts, and communication managers perform their activities in the mid level staffs level of the mid levels hierarchy. On the other hand, if we see the reservation procedure, reservation staff, reservation reception, also coordination, balance coordination between the reservation staff and guest service, basically maintain the coordination with guest staff, concierge, bill staff. And similarly, accounts balance with the balance coordination between cashier and night auditor. Communication managers basically maintain with the switchboard operator, sales and marketing team, human resource management team, or the personnel division in a hotel. In the hotel industry, human resource division basically synonym of the personnel department. So communication department also maintain good relation with the sales and marketing department, as well as the personnel department. Also, they can inform all other department regarding the hire and fire of the employee. If there any notice provided by the higher authority, communication division basically provide and maintain the coordination between all the department in a hotel. And consequently, front office hierarchy and duties, if we see the assistant front office manager, then we can see the supervise and coordinated day-to-day activities, assign duties and make duty rotas for the staff. And they can also make the duty roster for the mid-level and the and the first level employees. Reserve and lobby manager ensured the upcoming guest and the advanced reservation guest when they will arrive, and how they will be treated and what types of facilities would be given by the hotel authority. And the reservation assistant help the guest to fill in the reservation form or the registration form, and keeping the record about the required information about the guest. They also maintain the coordination between F&B service department, which means food and beverage department, and food and beverage service department. And receptionist also plays an very vital role in the front office department, like greet the guest on arrival, confirm the identity of their guest, fill the registration card and the details. And telephone operator also maintain good relation with the interdepartmental activities, or in the from the housekeeping department. also coordinate with the telephone operator department. And night operator is playing a very important role in the front office department. For an example, audit daily income from the hotel operations, tally all sales with bills, check guest folios with church and vouchers, and cashier also manage the data of the regarding the cash and capital activities, and time to time check out check-in data and update guest transaction daily. Sincerely, concierge maintain the good relationship with the with the all other department also, because they basically like to enhance their reputation to providing the service. They plays which is basically very important role by keeping the name in their mind, keeping the name of their they can ask, they can call the guest name very easily if they can try to memorize the guest name. If the guest is frequent traveler, then they can easily memorize their name. They have very proper knowledge regarding the city of the hotel, or the local area of the hotel. So a tourist can get some information, proper guidelines from the concierge also, like taxi information, airlines information, railway booking, and tell guests about the hotel services and facilities, booking F&B and spa activities. And bellboy also plays a vital role, like handle guest luggage, transport the luggage to the room on the arrival, and guest check-in, put luggage tag on bags and luggage on arrival, deliver mail, message, and package to the rooms. And if we see the limitations of job enlargement, then definitely we can see the increased workload leads to the disappointment and employees union issues, decreased productivity in short run, and so on. And if we see the hotel front office department hierarchy also stated some important guidelines here, like cashiers. Cashiers basically prepare the bill of a guest, and they usually collect the data of check-in, checkout of a guest record, update the guest transaction daily. Beside this, concierge basically plays another important role in the hotel. For instance, they have to maintain all coordination between the front office department. They have the proper knowledge regarding sightseeing places and tourist attractive tourist places of the local area. They have proper knowledge over taxi, airlines information, railway information, and local any types of attractive tourist areas. They can provide information very easily, by maintaining good relationship with the guest, and tell guest about the hotel service and facilities, and booking for F&B service and spa, gym, and any types of game and recreation facilities which is provided by the hotel authority. And as well as the bellboy. Bellboy also plays a major function in the hotel. Bellboy have to coordinate with the strong coordination, maintain the strong coordination with the front office department. Here stated some points, and I focused on some important issues, like handle guest luggage, transport the luggage to the room on arrival, guest check-in or check-out, put luggage tag on bags and luggage on arrival, deliver mail, message, package to the rooms. And on the contrary, if we see the hierarchy, the effect of the employee in the front office department, then there are some effect also. If we see the increased workload, if the employees of the front office department and increases workload leads to disappointment, and the employees union issues, decreased productivity in short run, and so on. And if we see the guest relation should take the feedback from the guest, and day to day collect the feedback from the guest, whether they are satisfied or not, whether they are expecting some more services, more supports from the hotel authority, or if they are satisfied, or if they like to get some advantages or privileges. They can collect some data from their guests, maintain guest feedback forms, maintain guest comments cards, handle VIP arrivals, attend to VIP, ensure the guest leave and positive image of the hotel, check any complaints and inform the departments. And if we see the qualities of front office staff and personnel, suppose a graduate of tourism and hospitality management students, they if they wish to is to develop their career over front office department, then definitely they should have the prior qualities to develop their career and establish their career in the front office department. Here we can see the pleasing personality, smiling face is the highly necessary in the reception area, front office area. Positive attitude, guest is always right. So these messages should be always kept in mind, that guest is always right, and a receptionist or front office manager have to deal with the guest very cordially. They should be very hardworking. Good, they have to good presentation skill, and the front office manager or the receptionist should be very courteous and diplomatic. Salesmanship and good memory they should have also. And that's all for today. And thank you all for attending the session today. I will conclude my session today with a amazing quote, which is quoted by Chinese proverb: "A man without a smiling face must not open a shop." So if a student want to build up their career or develop their career on the front of his department, this message is the motto. This message would be a motto for themselves. And however, I would like to conclude my session with a very special message to my students: stay home, stay safe, and enhance your immune to protect you from COVID-19 coronavirus. Stay blessed. Wish you very best of luck.